Hey YouTube, it's Alana Vitale. I'm just going to make a quick unedited video because frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a fuck. Okay, there's a group online called Women Against Feminism. I think they had a hashtag at one point and a Facebook group and everything like that. I had joined their Facebook group, but I only recently started being very active on there and engaging in the community discussions and everything like that. It's a very it's an interesting group because it's a lot of women who many of them are very old-fashioned, and they have the idea that men are a certain way, women are a certain way, and they should stay true to their natures, and feminism is destroying that, and I think that's actually pretty cool. In discussing a lot of issues in this group, I found that it was very wide, spectrum of discussions that actually take place there, and it's pretty interesting, to say the least. But to be quite honest with you, I had to leave the group because the problem is this. Way back when I used to consider myself to be a very soft feminist and was a religious individual, I would engage in group conversation and activity because I felt that that was the best way for a person to grow if they have like-minded individuals next to them saying things like that and whatnot. That naivete was used against me, I feel, for the most part, where in my Christianity I was basically manipulated into doing things, living my life a certain way. And I went along with it, but later I found out that it was not right for me. Let's just leave it at that. This is not a religious video rant. The same thing happened with feminism. I felt that this group of feminism was great. I'm a woman. I want to have a career, and I'm grateful that women can vote and women's rights. Yay, yay, yay. I happen to be pro-choice, so I felt that, feminism is grand. And then I saw that the actual movement of feminism was starting to become something that I didn't want to be a part of. I felt that it was another echo, just like when I was a Christian, it was another echo chamber of people where we all agree this way, vote this way, feel this way about politics, think this way. And it started to feel like the walls in that, the metaphorical walls in the feminist community were closing in on me. Especially when and I said it in my other Feminism Ruined cosplay video, where it just became another echo chamber where it's like, if you have these interests and you are this type of person, you are going to think this way about this issue, that way about that issue. And in the long run, I found that it was very wrong for me. So I entered, as you can see, I'm on the YouTube communities, the community, though it's not really a community, where I am a outspoken individual who does not agree with PC culture or feminism. I do not agree with basically any one group trying to tell everybody else what to do, and that's my biggest beef with feminism. I don't agree with the male shaming that they have been doing over time. This is a recent development where it's okay to shame a male. Like, since perhaps the 70s, it was like, all right, it started developing to that. And I don't agree with that. Feminism, when I did consider myself a soft feminist, I heard about hate groups that were misogynistic and basically wanted to strip women of all their rights and return them into being barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. And one of these groups I was informed about was called the MRAs. And so when I stopped being a feminist, I examined these groups to see, well, what's this hate speech that they do? And I actually ended up getting educated on a lot of the men's issues that exist. For example, the imbalances in court about how women are given easier sentences just simply based on their gender. Domestic disputes usually are sided with the woman, custody battles, all of those things, men's issues that are real, and that before that moment in time, before I was beginning to actually speak to the MRAs, I really never gave them any thought. because it just never occurred to me that these things were actually happening. But it was interesting to see that these things are actually happening. And so I noticed how feminists would protest against a men's center. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they care about a men's center? There's a women's center on a campus. Why can't there be a men's center? It makes sense, right? Well, no, because then the funding for the women's center gets taken. You know what I mean? They're fighting over money, basically. That's the basis of it. But the MRAs, they informed me about this, and it was kind of interesting. And then I heard of a new group called the MGTOW. And MGTOW, that's another group of gentlemen where they consider themselves men going their own way, which on the surface sounds pretty cool. These men, legitimately do not want to involve in the system that they feel is slanted against them. Getting married and having children to them seems like a trap that can be used against them. And if that's the way they feel, being a bachelor is absolutely fine, and I think that's great. But as I began to discuss with these guys, because I was trying to learn more and more about them, and see why everybody called them hate groups, I learned that there is a little bit of misogyny, not a little bit, a lot, majority of them, the ones that I've interacted with, hate women. And they have told me personally that the only reason why you claim not to be against feminism is because you're trying to ingratiate yourself to men so that you can get access to their bank accounts. And it's like, well, that's not true. I don't feel that way, but you're literally telling me that I don't. You're telling me how I feel about something. Wow, where did that happen to me before? Oh yes, feminism and Christianity and all of those other groups. And then, so it occurred to me that groups in general, probably not the best thing. It's not hard to become an echo chamber. All you need is, first you think it's just a bunch of people getting together that are like-minded, but then it becomes this issue where, well, okay, for example, and the reason why I'm bringing Women Against Feminism is because I saw a little bit of it. I'm not accusing anybody of it in that group, but it did seem to be kind of strange where women would start saying, yes, feminism's horrible because, they're encouraging women to kill their own babies. And if you're someone like me who's pro-choice, it's like, oh, okay, because I'm a woman against feminism, I automatically am supposed to agree with this political viewpoint on abortion, which is, that starts sounding like an echo chamber to me, And then, of course, there were some women in the group and some people that are like, no, that's not necessarily the truth. But, it just, maybe I'm paranoid, but I just feel like when you start getting people together in a group and they start all agreeing on certain things, it's great for a while, but then it starts to get crazy. And then the discussion of MGTOW came up. And of course, I feel very strongly that MGTOW, that the MRAs are very helpful in alerting people to men's rights, because that's what they did for me. They opened my eyes to it. MGTOW, on the surface, seems cool, but then when they start saying, well, we have to discourage young men from getting married so that the society can be influenced and we got to spread the word, it starts sounding like they're saying spread the gospel and read the MGTOW manifesto, and it's a great book to understand. And then they have different sections like WigTOW and PigTOW, I don't know. To me, it just felt a lot, MGTOW feels a lot like Christianity for me, where there's all these little, Protestant, Pentecostal, Presbyterian. It's just like, okay, whoa, this is becoming a little group thing here, and it makes me nervous. So while I think that Women Against Feminism is an awesome group, I just got a little bit stir crazy in there. I also had a discussion with somebody about the Nation of Islam, where it was interesting because the gentleman was basically saying that feminism is against Islam, and I don't know about you, but if you watch any BuzzFeed videos, they seem to be very pro-Islam, so I didn't quite see where he was going at there, and I got into a 5-hour private message conversation with this fella, because I first thought he was a troll, and I thought he was from a UK troll group, like Troll Station, and it turned out, no, he was legitimately stating these things, and I disagreed with it, but then he started calling me, saying that I hated Islam, and I was like, I don't hate Islam, but I'm not going to be comfortable with any group that is against another group of people. namely gays. And I even asked this person, what is your perspective of how are you saying homosexuality is something that needs to be punished and expunged from society? And he said, absolutely. It's not wrong to be gay, but if you are caught being gay, four witnesses testify against you, you could be either whipped or put to death. And I'm like, well, see, that right there, that's why I'm not into this whole thing. I know Islamic people, I know Muslims that are living in America, are happy living in America, don't want to make waves, don't want to change anybody else's lifestyle. They basically want to live and let live, and I am totally cool with those people. But the ones that seem to think that it's okay to whip or put to death somebody for being gay, not cool to me. Just like it's not cool to me that Christians think that being gay is an abomination. Not cool. I am not cool with that. And then I saw where this was going, where it was like, oh, so you're Islamophobic. Oh, you hate the Nation of Islam. And I'm like, whoa, this is sounding like some of the other echo chambers that I've been in with the feminists and the MGTOW and the Christians and the this and the isms and the atoms and all of these different things. And while I think Women Against Feminism is, for the most part, a nonpartisan group, that was a little too close for comfort for me. Anyways, they have a YouTube channel. Please feel free to look them up and check them out. They have a lot of girls talking like I talk and saying stuff. But yeah, Women Against Feminism, pretty cool group, but I'm kind of allergic to groups right now. Maybe I'm a paranoid person, but I just don't like feeling enclosed. So that's that.